Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast. I'll be your host this evening, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, my ace co-pilot, my brother Alex. How you doing, buddy?
What is up, everyone? I am doing fabulous.
If you notice, we're sitting a little bit further back. Everybody's been asking us, when are we going to have guests? When are we going to do something different? So, being from Texas, go big or go home, right?
That's it.
We got our biggest friend that we could find. For those of you that know him, the chosen one, the Kracken, Juan Adams. Juan, how you doing today?
Great, man. How y'all doing?
Doing great, man. It's good to have you on the show. Thank you very much for joining us. I understand you just got through with a little training session.
Yeah. We had work, and then I just went and did a quick little 1 hour cardio session and kind of get my metabolism up. A little bit behind weight for this fight, so
That's all right. You got some time. I'm sure you'll knock it out. We'll go back to Juan's going to join us for the show, so we'll do our normal show. But then we'll have a longer chat about you and what you're doing. So feel free to chime in. Starting off, I mean, what can we possibly talk about? I guess we'll talk about the NBA. The finals finally here.
Yeah.
Hey, better than the conference finals. At least game one was, right? We finally got a close game.
Yeah. Owned by the refs, I guess. I mean, it was.
Oh my! You can go
Yes.
on the refs thing.
Yes,
the
absolutely.
refs have been horrible.
Say that again, Juan.
The refs have been horrible.
Thank you.
Like the entire NBA playoffs.
Thank you.
Hey, look. When have the refs been good?
I mean, if they were at least consistently bad, like both ways.
No, they're consistently bad. They're bad all the time.
No. But then all the bad stuff goes for Golden State. It's ridiculous.
And it happens in the finals, the most important games of the season.
You guys, I can't believe you guys are going to be these ref haters.
I'll tell you what. I'm glad Juan is on my side.
Yeah, I kind of wish he was on mine too. But I could always claim handicap. He won't beat up on me, right? I just got through knee surgery. He's not gonna beat up on me. But look, ref or not, I mean the story. The happiest Cleveland Cavalier after Game 1 had to be George Hill. No one said shit about him missing that second free throw after J.R. Smith decided to run out of the building with the ball.
What was he thinking?
Brain fart or just was he high? What do you think?
That's just JR being JR, man. There was one time he talked about like the bad alley oops he throws to LeBron James. Like, I just do it to see, what all he can do.
How about you just put it right to him, right?
Yeah. How about you grab the ball in the paint, the rebound, and
go
just
up-
go up with
it.
it. I mean, worst case scenario, you get another foul call maybe, or you make a layup.
Yeah.
But he ran all the way back to the 3-point line.
Have you seen the memes? Right, some
Yeah.
guys are playing pickup basketball and they're shooting free throws. Who the hell shoots free throws in a pickup basketball game? Shooting free throws. The one, and it's always the white guy, right? The one white guy out there grabs the rebound and runs. And then they're chasing him in the park and they're chasing him down the street. It's hilarious. J.R. Smith is just too much. Look, I feel bad for LeBron. I mean, man, that guy is so good. He is such an incredible superstar. And he's saddled with J.R. Smith.
I agree, but I'm going to go the other way and say I feel bad for J.R. Smith. They got a video out when they're between the fourth quarter and overtime, right? They're on the bench, and no one comes next to J.R. Smith. No one talks to him. No one says, hey, man, it's going to be all right. Nobody says nothing. Tyronn Lue's walking up to give his little whatever pep talk he has in him, and you can see LeBron ask Tyronn Lue, hey, how many timeouts did we have? And he says 1, and you just see LeBron just throw his hands up and cover his face, and Jeff Green is telling LeBron, hey man, it'll be okay. And J.R. Smith is in the middle, and no one talks to the guy, man. I feel bad for him.
Yeah,
I mean, someone go and tell him something,
Hold on a second. We've all played team sports, right?
Yeah.
We've all had a teammate shit the bed like that. What have you done? Like, think back to an instance where you had a teammate kind of goof. What did you do?
I mean, honestly, last time I did a team sport like where they could goof like that was probably high school football, and I didn't really like my teammates. I didn't say
That's my point.
But in college, I was captain of the wrestling team, so it was like my job to console teammates, and it sucked. You're always just like, because wrestling's a real individual sport, but for the duels, it's a team sport.
Right.
And I'd always have to go up and usually I'd win my match, so I'm in there God damn it, if one of these guys, just one of them had won the damn match, we could have won this duel. I wasted my talents for nothing. And so I'd always just be like, hey man, you'll get it next time. It's one of those things, you get what you put into it. Just gotta work harder in the room and we'll see what happens. And that was my default. That was always my default. But afterwards, I would go to my room and just be like, can't believe they lost this for me again.
So there you have it. But LeBron doesn't like his teammates.
Well, no, but I think he proves my point, right? If it had been in football, he didn't go because he didn't like his teammates. I played baseball, and I tell you, there's only certain teammates I would go talk to.
No.
The ones I liked,
Yeah.
right? And I think, and that's the problem with J.R. Smith. I don't think anyone likes the guy. He's always been a bit of a head case, and
True.
And now apparently even worse than that. Just amazing.
Well, I mean, now down 2-0, it's the theme of the playoffs has been home teams been winning, but man, it's hard to believe that the Cavs will even win one at home.
What was your pick before the series?
I wanted the Cavs to win, but Golden State is just.
If you had to put a significant sum of money on it.
I'd go Golden State if I had to put.
In how many games?
I'd go Golden State in 5.
Smart man.
That's
That's exactly what I
is
said.
that what you picked?
Yes. And I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the refs play a part in these next 2 games, and
Well, in Cleveland,
they make my Cavs in 7 look a little better.
there's no way.
I'm telling you, it's gonna happen, man. It's
And
gonna
then,
happen.
and then Steph Curry last night just went off.
I mean, there's not one shot that guy doesn't make.
The
It's
one over Kevin Love?
the more difficult the shot is. I mean, I don't understand. He's gonna win his 3rd NBA Finals and his 1st Finals MVP.
That's amazing. That whole squad is amazing, but
I dislike their whole team. I just dislike them.
is that why you were rooting for the Cavs? I was going to ask you why you were rooting for the Cavs.
Golden State, they used to be fun and funny, but Draymond Green, I can't stand.
Yeah, he does. I mean,
I really just can't stand Draymond.
I don't know if you watched the game last night, but I know you didn't because you were at the Astros game. But there was one point where they called a foul on Draymond Green and he didn't say anything, and Jeff Van Gundy said, "Wow, Draymond actually agrees with that."
That's a first.
Yeah, I think he followed it up, but that's a first. It's just, he's the one that's most unlikable. And then going back to game 1, Tristan Thompson then gets himself thrown out on a flagrant 2, and then mushes Draymond with the ball, which
I loved it.
Which I loved it, but then he didn't get suspended for it, which I don't understand the NBA.
Do you believe? I mean, can you believe that he didn't get suspended? It's really easy why they didn't. The NBA is like, look, we can't suspend any players from the Cavs
Why not?
Because they can't win with just LeBron.
LeBron scored 51 in game 1.
I know.
And they were tied going in overtime, right? They had to go in overtime.
If
they suspended Tristan Thompson, he would have had to score 52 and a half. Right? I mean,
is that what he accounts for?
He impacts the game in other ways, though.
Yeah, but not in a way that LeBron couldn't handle it, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I don't understand it. My problem with it is at the point he got into that scuffle, he was no longer a player. Therefore, he's just like a bench guy.
Yeah.
He should have gotten suspended.
Well, they pick and choose their spots.
Yeah.
That's what they've been doing for years now. So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you said. The refs have been bad, and I think the league office is kind of bad with stuff like this too. They go crazy with some suspensions and then not with others. Look, the only thing left to talk about with the NBA Finals, honestly, is because the Warriors are going to win this. I mean, I think the Cavs had a chance to steal a game, they missed it, and that's it. I mean, they're not going to steal. They may win one. They may even win 2. They may even win both games in Cleveland, but I just don't see him being able to to beat the Warriors 4 times, and to have to beat them in Golden State, I think is tough.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. The Golden State, the refs. Yeah.
The refs, you guys and the refs. Look, the NBA refs have never been good. The Warriors will complain about what happens to them on what is it, Thursday, whenever they play? Whenever they go to Cleveland. Hey, what'd you think of LeBron's fashion sense?
I loved it.
You liked it?
I liked it. My only issue was the bag, man. If you spend...
The bag or the purse? What is it?
It's a bag. Right?
The thing
is, some came out, like, they put the price up of his whole outfit, and, like, the suit was, like, $5,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
And that bag was 41 G's. I was
Holy
like...
cow.
Yeah, like it was a freshly...
It's a gator
skin gator.
Yeah, but even still, man, like...
It's a brand new car.
Yeah, I mean, you got... Some, if anything costs over like $400 for me, I'm just like, no, I don't know about that.
Put that back on the shelf.
Maybe I can do without this.
Yeah.
Well, one day when you're rolling in it,
you will be very hard pressed to see me. Like, if you see me spending 41 G's on a bag, it's because whatever chick I'm with at the time is pissed at me. That bag is the only thing that's gonna make her happy.
it's the only thing that's going to get you out of jail.
Yeah.
I think we just don't understand what it's like to have that kind of cash. You know, I mean, because when you got $1 bajillion, I mean, what the fuck are you going to spend it on?
Yeah, I guess. I can find other things to spend it on than some...
A bag.
Seriously.
I would spend that kind of money on being petty, though. Like, so if I had that kind of money, like, I'd get, like, find out what, like, one of my ex's dream car was, and, like, get it, trick it out, and then, like, get their name on the license plate.
And then you'd give it to her?
No.
No.
I'd probably give it to, like, their family member.
Their best friend.
Yeah.
Go find her.
Or just someone that lives in that same town. So
the same neighborhood, right?
They'd have to see it every day.
Oh, like her neighbor.
Yeah.
Or look up someone with the same name.
Someone in the neighborhood. Just give it to, like, the person across the street.
Exactly.
She's got to see it every day.
Yeah, I do. I'd spend my money on being petty, like, after.
That's some petty shit
That
right
is.
there.
I've never said I'm not petty. Like, I stand by it. I'll hashtag stuff team petty. Like, I'm a very petty man. Like,
Nothing wrong with being petty.
No, I don't call it. People think pettiness is a bad thing. It's really not. It's just a very extreme sense of justice. All right, I'm like the human incarnation of karma. That's all.
I see.
But no, but honestly, I'd spend the money on like charity or something. But like once I'd already invested in enough charities, it's petty time. You know?
It's petty time. I can just see it. You're rich and famous. You get up in the morning. What am I gonna do today? It's petty time.
My dream is to own a helicopter and literally just wake up at 2 a.m. and fly it over like people that have pissed me off places. Or like go to their place of work and rappel out of it and just like go give everyone $100 except them.
And yell out, petty!
Team petty!
That would be hilarious. Yeah. Oh man. You know, it's funny, like every now and then we talk about it in this house, right? You're walking around Walmart and someone, you know, they take your cart by accident and the kids screaming and stuff. And my son and I always tease my daughters and my wife and be like, what you should do is you should just whip out the finger gun and be like, oh no you didn't. It's just stupid stuff like that. We think it's hilarious and my wife's like, that's not funny.
So kids, don't listen to dad.
You're going to get me smacked around at Walmart. Well, you know, if you do it right, you know, with a tick and everything,
Yeah.
they'll be a little free.
They'll be freaked out a little bit.
Jeez, that's hilarious. $40,000 bag. Again, like, how much does LeBron make a year? Probably, like, from the NBA, he probably makes, what, 30?
Middle of the year?
Endorsements and stuff, he makes call it another 30? Probably more than that. I mean, after taxes, he's keeping 30. I mean,
that ain't
you
shit.
got us $40,000 on a bag is nothing.
I guess.
Well, if I ever remarry, I'm gonna wear that outfit with the shoes and the dress socks.
Dude,
You'll be down?
Promise me I'll be your best man.
You down?
I'm down with that.
All right.
I'm down with that.
Freaking the LeBrons out there. Alex and the LeBrons. Well, you know, you don't have to get married again. Just renew your vows, man. Just so we can put on the outfit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I probably shouldn't say that, right? In case my wife ever watches this.
She doesn't watch the podcast. Don't worry about it. She doesn't like it that much anyway.
You're probably right.
Jeez, I didn't have a problem with the second one because I thought the sweat, the hoodie underneath the jacket was kind of cool. But the first one just looked like a regular suit, and they lopped off the pant legs, and he had those black socks and those 1970 Buster Brown shoes. I mean, I wore those when I was a little kid.
He's showing off the calves, man. If you got it flaunted,
Is that because he plays for the Cavs?
No, exactly.
Not like Floyd Mayweather, right? He's got those two little sticks and barely sticks. I wonder what he's gonna. You know, I'll tell you what. The best one when it comes to that fashion stuff, and I don't agree with it. I agree with it probably half the time, just from a looks good, looks not good. But Russell Westbrook goes all out, and I love it. The only reason I watch the pregame sometimes is to watch him walk in when they film that.
Auntie Russ, man.
Auntie Russ.
Auntie Russ. He dresses up like that single aunt that's trying to show out at church all the time. That's what Russell Westbrook.
Now we talked about the skinny jeans earlier. Now he got the skinnies going. I mean, they're skinny and they're capris, man. They're like.
Well, no, wasn't that Dwayne Wade with the capris?
Him too.
I'm rocking like capris now. That's just because like.
Yeah, but
pants don't fit. Like,
yeah, but you just came from working out.
So those aren't capris; those are high waters. There's a difference.
No, well, they're supposed to be sweats, and they don't fit around my calf always. So I just pull them up and then go right there. But I really wear them in case I run into one of my exes, then my ass looks great.
Big man problems. We wouldn't know anything about that.
You gotta flaunt it.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Team Petty has to be in full effect.
I have the same problem with shirts. Like it's hard to get them around these massive shoulders and pecs.
You gotta make them dance. You know?
Man, I can't make them dance. I can't even make them crawl, bro. What are you talking about?
I can't even dance.
Oh, jeez, no. And I think the capris was Dwayne Wade, and his were terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. They just wear some outrageous shit.
The NBA guys all do it. Like, well, not all, but they do it. You don't see that, like, certainly not from baseball players, but you don't see it. The only other place I've seen it is European soccer players sometimes. You know,
Cam Newton has some
the hats.
Yeah.
For the post game press conference. Yeah.
I think he's got a fresh look, man. I like it. I like it.
Good, yeah.
Cam's like, and not for nothing. I mean, we're all guys here. That's a good looking motherfucker. Like, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I guess.
Football skills, good looking.
Yeah.
Built like a truck.
Story of my life, man.
Shit. All right, so let's go into the story of your life, right?
All right.
Since we got you on the show, let's give everybody a chance to get to know the Kracken.
All right.
First things first, man. Where'd you get the name from?
It's actually a funny story. So I drink Kracken rum a lot, and so that's like people always see me with Kracken rum, and then my one of my buddies, Dallas Pascal, is like my big brother. He got me into fighting, and he just his fight name is Cthulhu, right? And that's H.P. Lovecraft mythos, whatever. But the Kracken, he was rolling with me one day, and he just said that you got to be your fight name is the Kracken, just this giant insurmountable force, you know, rolling with you, just arms, legs coming out of nowhere, and you know exactly what's gonna happen. You just can't stop it. So it's kind of just took on a name of its own.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, are you big into the jiu-jitsu game? I mean, tell us a little bit about your fight style.
You know, I'm primarily a wrestler, and you know, every time when I was wrestling, you know, I got into wrestling because I'm like, oh, you know, I like to fight, so this was just one more skill, and then I just turned out to be really good at it. But I was always thinking when I'm wrestling, you know, I could hit somebody from here, you know, it'd be real easy. I was like,
sounds like fun.
I was like, I could really mess somebody up from this position. If
Did you
I
ever
did
get DQ'd for hitting somebody?
No. But like, so anytime I was wrestling, I would always think like, man, you know, I could really hurt somebody from here. So now when I'm fighting, you know, when it does get to the ground and we're wrestling, all those instances when I would be in college wrestling or high school wrestling, when I was like, I can inflict damage here. I actually can inflict damage now, so I'm just.
This is great.
Yeah, every time I see an opportunity, I'm ready to hit him.
No DQ here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I can fuck somebody up.
Exactly. So.
Man, that's a scary thought. That's a scary thought. So let me get this. Let me refresh everybody, or refresh myself actually, because I'm old and my memory's going. So you have a fight coming up on the Contender Series, Dana White's Contender Series, which is, for those of you that don't know, it's a UFC kind of like a tryout show, right? Like it's kind of like a mini card. They've got 4 or 5 fights on there. Yeah. They get some young up and comers like yourself to fight, and then after the show, Dana White starts handing out some contracts, 1, 2, 3, however many he feels like, right?
Right, exactly.
So when's your fight?
July 31st. It's the last episode of the Contender Series, so I might be the last fight on it. I don't even know if I'm the last, but there's only like 4 or 5.
Right?
Fights
Yeah. I know they don't do very much.
It doesn't matter where I am on the card.
Yeah,
Just make sure you tune in. It'll be worth it.
Yeah, that's right. Now with the new ESPN deal, I wonder if they're going to do that on ESPN Plus or on. No, the ESPN deal starts in 2019, so I guess you still got to get it through Fight Pass.
UFC Fight Pass, yep.
So yeah, subscribe to UFC Fight Pass. And July 31st, you can watch this man.
Don't subscribe till July though, so I can say it's me.
That's right. There you go.
Spike in sales. You know?
There you go. That's right. Man's already thinking about negotiating his next contract.
Exactly.
That's the way to go.
Trying to get paid, you know.
Hey man,
he's more than just a fighter.
Yeah,
that's right.
I gotta fuel Team Petty. You know, I gotta fund the petty dreams,
that's right.
man.
Gotta find a way to. It's not cheap to be petty, right? It takes
really isn't.
It takes some work. So you mentioned wrestling in high school. Now I know you're originally from the Houston area, right? Mm-hmm. So, what got you into wrestling in high school?
Actually,
what other sports did you play as well?
So I started off. I played football in high school, and then I was gonna play basketball. This was before I got my growth spurt. I was only 5'9", and you know, I didn't make the. I only went to one day of the tryout, and I wasn't gonna make the team. And they're like, well, you can come back next year if you just keep working on your game or whatever. So I was like, nah, F that. And so I went and started wrestling, and I liked it because I was always into WWE style wrestling, and MMA was just starting to come out. And I got into a lot of fights in high school, so I was like, you know, this was made me better at fighting, so why not? Let's do it. And first year, you know, it was rough. I took some bumps. I think I was like finished 9-6 or something like that. And but I just kept at it, and then I got my growth spurt, and I was like, you know, heavyweight wrestling is a little different. I'll try it again next year. And I met a lot of real cool people, so I just stuck with it. And before I knew it, I was state ranked at over 100 high school wins, and I ended up All-Americaning at the Disney duels at the All-Star level. So
yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, and
that's a big deal in high school wrestling.
Yeah, so then I finally I accepted a preferred walk-on spot to VMI because I really wanted to be a D1 athlete, and worked my way to a scholarship, a 2-year captain of that team, and the rest is history. VMI,
for people that don't do acronyms?
Virginia Military Institute. Yeah.
Awesome. So, that's interesting. And then so then you graduated. Like what that point of time before you actually take that first MMA fight and you graduate from college. You got a degree in what?
My degree was in computer science, and my minor is in exercise science.
So he's big and smart.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. You gonna leave something for somebody else?
I mean, I got blessed, but on the bright side, like I can't keep a relationship more than 3 months. So there's like. There's always a trade-off.
So on top of being smart and athletic, he's Mr. Steal Your Girl too.
That's right. Which I would let him, by the way, have her.
You know what they say: one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah.
So you graduate from VMI. How much longer before you take that first MMA fight? How do you get into MMA?
I graduated May of 2015, and my first fight was September of 2016. So I actually, the Colts called me right before I graduated, and like, hey, we're interested in having you come down for a tryout. And at this point, I was like 300 pounds. I was just partying at this point. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, it's a new goal to train for. So got back in the gym, bulked up to about 315. Eventually, I got up to 325, and I was ready to go for this tryout. The Colts ended up not being interested. I had a trial with the Packers came down to evaluate a few guys. I was one of them, and then I was going to try out for a futures contract in December, and they just never called me with a tryout location or anything. And at this point, I was paying like $900 a month to train at an NFL approved facility that teams go to, and they're like, oh no, you know, if you stick it out for another year, maybe you can do it. And at the time I was training, you know, I saw guys that were 24, 25, 26 still trying to make it to the NFL. I was like, I'm not gonna be one of those guys. So I was already coaching fighters, helping them with their wrestling. So I said, you know, screw this. I'll just try MMA out. And it started off as like, well, I just want to see if I'll just do a few amateur fights, see if I can make the weight. And I was head of security at a nightclub at the time, in addition to my job at the bank. So I was getting into fights at the nightclub. I was like, man, this is fun, you know. So
seriously, bro, were any of those people sober? Who goes into a nightclub and fucks with you?
You'd be surprised, man. Because usually it's like bigger guys that like were athletes that just always used to being the tough guy. And they would try me. I'm like, dude, you really don't want to do this. Like, you trust me, you don't want to do this. And this is before I had any fighting experience. Yeah. Then once I once I had my first amateur fight or a couple fights like that, or been training for a while, it got to a point where like I just won't fight. Like, I'm not gonna fight for free. So if someone and
that's my motto too, by the way. That's why I don't beat anyone's ass.
Yeah. So after September, I had my amateur fight. First amateur fight September 2016. Another one November 2016. Another one December 2016. So I got my amateur title. And then January of 2017, when I quit the nightclub, some dude hit me in the head with a bottle, and I was like, all right, this isn't worth my career anymore. So I quit the club industry and just started training again, and took my first pro fight June of 2017, and now we're here. So
damn, so a year of being a pro.
Yeah.
What's your pro record? 3-0?
3-0, yeah.
3-0, man. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Now, I know you train at various places, and obviously this fight coming up is the biggest fight of your life, man.
Right.
How do you structure your training for, like, who does that? Do you just break out the big chief tablet and say, Monday I'm going to do this, Tuesday, or do you have a coach? Do you have a group of coaches? How does your training get structured?
I have a group of coaches, and I kind of budget my time accordingly. So this is the last week I'm working the day job, but I just signed a pretty big sponsorship deal. I don't want to put the number out there in case IRS is watching, but it's
not enough to buy the $40,000.
Not enough to do that, but it's it's about an average salary.
Maybe the next one. Maybe the next one you'll buy.
Yeah, it's I don't have to worry about my car payments for a while. So it's with Jet Hot. That's the plug. Jet Hot Premium Coatings, high performance there. So what I do is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I wake up at 4:45. I live in Missouri City. I drive out to Katy. I work with my striking coach over at the Fight Lab, and then from there, normally I go to work. Actually, I go to LA Fitness where I have a membership, and I just shower there. And then my job is right across the street from there, so I go to work at the bank, and then from the bank, I normally leave and I go work out, do my strength and conditioning at Studio Fitness in the Heights with my strength and conditioning coach, Ryan Casey Baker. And he's actually the main one that structures everything, does all the training, because he's in school for that, but he's just crazy smart. And He's I've been working with him since my second pro fight. So I started working with him 9 days before my first amateur fight, actually. And so second amateur. First amateur fight 9 days before. I was nowhere close to weight. He's the only reason I made weight. So I'm like, all right, this dude knows his stuff, so I'm going to stick with him. And from there, you know, my body just completely transformed and my performance has gone through the roof. So he does all my planning and all that stuff. Diet, everything is through him. And I schedule my stuff according to what he thinks I should do. Right. And then I spar at Paradigm Tuesdays and Thursdays. And their head MMA coach, Leroy, he also puts a lot of input in. And so I take input from him. I take input from Ryan. And then Jeremy Laughlin over at the Fight Lab is like my main MMA coach. And then I take his input and we structure my training around there. So
and you got a lot of good people around you.
Yeah, so I train, I train a lot. At one point I was actually even doing jiu-jitsu over at the Dark Side. I would drive out there every Sunday for open mat. And then now I just don't really have time for that. But now that I'm, you know, not working anymore, I might have more energy to get back into that. So we do that. Strength and conditioning is 4 times a week. And then we just started with Tyler Bowman, who does, he's a kinetic sports doctor, so and chiropractor. So he does all my corrective stuff, all my rehab, any little injuries I have, he takes care of. And so I do, on Wednesdays I go to his office over in West U, and on Saturdays I could drive out to League City to his other big facility at Kinetic out there. And I get out there at 7 a.m. and we work on stuff. Then I do his like boot camp for a little bit of cardio. And I head back over to Studio Fitness in the Heights and do usually another cardio or muscular endurance based workout. Wow. Then Sundays we lift, and then I do some real light jogging, or maybe I'll go shoot hoops for an hour or so, but stuff like that.
That sounds pretty intense, but look, man, that's the life, right? I mean, it's you're not trying to win like a local checkers tournament. You're trying to go big time here, so you got to put in all that work, man. That's great to hear. And some of those people, I'm not real deep into the MMA game here in Houston. Obviously, I know a lot of the bigger names around the country just from following the UFC and stuff. But I've heard of Ryan and whatnot, and that's some fantastic people to have around you. Yeah. So, what's the ideal length of a fight camp for you?
Man, we ideally is we want at least 6 weeks. I like to have mine more at 10 to 12 week range. Wow. So we really lock stuff down, and it's really scientific for me. And if I've just had a fight, then we like to have a really short turnaround, like 6 to 8 weeks again.
Because you're already kind of there. You just gotta kind of come down and prime again.
Exactly. So that's what we like to do. But this long break has been good. And, I actually took my first 2 amateur fights. I actually had a fractured hand, so that's why those ones lasted a little longer than the other ones. But
you didn't want to beat him up with a broken hand,
right? And then
that makes sense.
So I had little injuries going into each of my last fights. This is the first time I've working with Tyler. My body feels great. I don't have any of those little nagging injuries, and it just feels amazing. And so having the time to actually recover was nice.
Now, do you have someone that helps you with your nutrition, or do you do that on your own? Or is that Ryan?
Ryan does that. Yeah. So at some points, my manager actually pays him for the groceries and pays him to prep it, and he cooks all.
Oh, you can meal prep too, huh?
Yeah,
that's the way to go.
Yeah.
So not to be a downer here, but what's the one thing that you got to give up during camp that you really hate giving up when it comes to the diet?
It's a tie, liquor.
No pink drinks?
Yeah, none of my pink drinks.
Why must the first one be pink?
It's just my thing, dude. So in college...
is it margaritas or...?
No, it's Cosmos.
Cosmos, okay.
He's sophisticated.
Yeah, come on, man. I have class. I don't drink swill, all right?
He may be petty, but he's not classless. Come on.
But no, it started off in college. And one of my roommates' parents, his dad would always come through, and he's like, "All right, I'll buy whatever you guys want, but your first drink has to be like the gayest drink they have here." I was like, "All right, I'm securing my masculinity. Screw it, let's do this."
Free booze.
And then I started liking them, and I'm like, well, let's just get more of them, man. I don't need shots. Let's just keep doing these. So that's how that started, and now I mean, no one's gonna say anything to me, you know, and
except for that drunken idiot at the nightclub.
Yeah, I'll just laugh at him, dude. So that's how I deal with all like confrontation now. I'm like, I just go full like just rather than confrontational, I just get super condescending. Like I'll laugh at them or. That's my first line, and then if they keep doing it, I'll pick them up by their underarms and just like shake them like a baby, and then put them down and say, "Stop it." And then, and then if they get real, that usually pisses them off more. And then if they keep coming at me, I just open hand slap them, and I just look at them. Like, hey, so if you really want to do this, I'll do it.
Can you imagine you're hanging out at the club with your girl, you decide to get all swole up with this guy, and he picks you up and shakes you a little bit? How's that gotta feel?
She's leaving.
With him.
Well, that's the other line I'll do. Is like if some dude's like, "Are you looking at my girl?" And I'll look at him like, "Oh, dude, I'm out of her league anyway." Like,
yeah, you gotta have a sense of humor. I would imagine though. I mean, obviously it doesn't happen to me because I'm a couple of twigs hanging off my body. No one's gonna be afraid of me. But I would imagine that a guy like you at a bar, every now and then, especially after someone gets a couple pops in them, they want to test themselves out. They're like, "He ain't that fucking big. I could take him."
Yeah.
So you must get that shit a lot.
Yeah.
It's not like Demetrius Johnson, right? Who looks like a normal person. Yeah. No one probably fucks with him, but you, they're like. Not that big.
It happens quite a bit, and obviously, like people just even when I'm trying to make them not like me, they like me. You know? So that doesn't help the situation ever. And normally, what ends up happening is there's a whole process, and you can tell when someone's trying to get confrontational. You know, they'll initiate contact, and like they want to test you, so like they'll accidentally bump into you, or like they'll grab you and like start like feeling how dense you are, or try and move you. And I'm always like, I know what they're doing, so I just sit there. I'm like, all right, dude, like whatever. But it's funny after that.
That's a lot of patience, man.
Yeah. Well, I have to be
I guess
like that,
I guess
man.
you're used
like,
to it. You got a career to worry about.
Also, man, like when I was 20, 21, I used to get like that, but I've been dealing with it so long now. It's not worth it. And honestly,
absolutely.
The way I see it is like I get paid to fight. You know,
right.
Why would I do it for free? And that's something that I learned. Like if you're good at something, don't do it for free. So that's
what I say about accounting. That's why I don't do anyone's books for free.
And so, actually, last night after the game, somebody I was at a bar. One of my buddies was at a bar, and he was working. And so I walked over and I said, "Hey, what's up? Whatever." I chilled for a few minutes. And as I'm leaving, like, it was this group of, like, you know the type, like not really in shape, but, like, still strong guys,
right.
Kind of fat, like, older guys. But they're big. They're all in the 6'1", 6'2" range.
Right.
And they see me, and, like, naturally, like, the biggest one wants to fuck with me. And I'm just chilling. And I'm walking by, and he's like, "Hey, man, you dropped something." And I look down, and he, like, playfully shoves me. He's like, "Oh, I'm just messing with you, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, all right, dude. And so, like, I can tell at this point he's testing me.
Yeah.
And he goes, "How many fights have you been in?" And I just looked at him and I go, "I'm a professional fighter." I just left it at that. Like, I'm a pro fighter. That's what I do for a living. And he's like, "Oh."
Take it back.
That's right.
Yeah. And so
let me pick that up for you.
Yeah. Then he was like,
Shut the fuck up.
He goes, "Well, I mean, how long do you think it would take you to knock me out? Like, how many punches would it take for you to F me up?" And I go, "Dude, I could fuck you up without throwing a single punch." And he's like, "Oh, really?" And at that point is where, like, I just turned into, like, super arrogant. I just like, "Dude, fucking Google me." And I just walked off. Like, I'll just leave. Like, because I don't see the point in that kind of stuff.
No, and you've got too much to lose, right?
Exactly.
Some drunken idiot, if he spends a night in jail, it's a night.
You're
If
right.
you spend a night in jail, it's a fat contract, it's a sponsorship,
Yeah.
it's whatever,
Right.
right? It's all that other stuff. So you just got to be smart about stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's no need. Well, that's good. I'm glad you got a good head on your shoulders because I would imagine that kind of shit happens all the time. And,
Oh yeah, it's incessant, man. And like if a girl ever invites me out, like you know how girls are, they'll never invite just one guy out. They invite a bunch of them, and then it's like it's a competition at that point. And so like now I have it like this policy, like I refuse to compete with another dude, like because I know how it's gonna get, and I don't have time for that. So
yeah.
anytime another dude sees me, like they instantly want to turn it into some type of pissing contest, and I'm just like, bye. You're gonna
No.
Yeah.
It's not worth it for me.
Yeah.
It's like there's been plenty before her, and there'll be plenty after. I don't care.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. You said there were two things: liquor and what else?
the other one is my little Debbie's snacks, man. Like I love those things, dude.
So I run marathons, right? And I also diet the last 6 weeks before a race. I start to really watch what I eat, and the easiest way for me to lose weight is to cut out sugar. And I don't have a sweet tooth. I have sweet teeth. All of them drives me insane. And it's a 6 week, like I do it for 6 weeks, and I cut like probably 10 pounds in the first 3 weeks. So it's kind of worth it, right? When you get to that middle point, when you're not dropping weight real fast and you still got a long way to go, man, I'm just grouchy. It's the sweets are
dude.
just.
And people like it's funny, man. Like I told people, like I honestly like get more physically excited for food than I will for a chick. Like that.
Oh yeah, at a certain
They'll
point.
be like, well, it must be hard because I mean, I personally like I get attached too quick sometimes, and especially in fight camp, I'm like hyper emotional during fight camp because I can't eat or anything. So like I'm always just like I'm hyper. So we learned very early like women are just a no for me during fight camp. Like, just a no. But like that's not even that hard. Like it's hard, but it's the sweets, man. Like the food. Like if you say like, oh, you can go over to this girl's house or you can have this piece of cheesecake. I'm picking the cheesecake every time. Like,
yeah.
Every time.
No, I know exactly what you mean, man. I'm just, like I said, it's not a sweet tooth. I don't have a sweet tooth. All of them are sweet. Every last one of them. I mean, gummy bears and, I mean, just, you name it.
Yeah, it's all
Those sweet tarts and stuff.
Well, see, where I messed up, man, is the sugar-free gummy bears. Like, they're like, oh, yeah, you can have these. So I'm like, hell yeah. If you eat too many of those, like, they make you crap, dude. Like, so, like, I was eating bags of them, and I'm just like, oh, I don't feel good, man. I was like, and it's just, like, explosive, dude. I'm at work, and I'm like, I gotta go. That was just weird.
I got a funny story about that. So, a while back, they had a review on Amazon for these sugar-free gummy bears, but it was like a 5-pound bag, and the reviews were Google it sometime. It's fucking hilarious. And it's all these reviews about people that just are blowing out from these sugar-free things. So for a goof, I decided I'm gonna try that just to see. I love gummy bears, sugar-free, right? Whatever. So I bought a bag, and it wasn't a 5-pound bag, but it was a decent sized bag. It was bigger than normal, right? And so one Saturday afternoon, I decided I'm gonna try this, and I ate them all, right? Stupid me forgot Mom and Dad were coming over for dinner that night. It didn't give me the shits. What it gave me was a tremendous amount of gas. Like I thought if I don't fart, I am going to literally explode. So I'm sitting there at dinner with my parents, and I'm just like, just kind of like, oh, just not good. Run to the bathroom and just fart for 5 minutes straight with nothing happening. I was absolutely miserable. I'll never forget that. And it's funny that you mentioned that sugar-free stuff.
It was horrible.
Sounds like a good prank on someone.
Yeah.
It was the worst. Everyone was cracking up at me. I was not happy, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, Google Amazon review of sugar-free gummy bears.
It's brutal.
It is hilarious to hear those reviews, man. Anyway, so your fight's out in Vegas?
Yeah. Vegas.
Been out to Vegas before?
No, I have not.
Never?
Never been to Vegas. Other than me, and I try and I know myself pretty well, so I try and avoid stuff that I feel like will present me with too many of my vices
At one time,
lead me to make a bad decision. Because when I'm drunk, it's even worse. And it's not even like I'll do illegal stuff. I'm just like, say I have a set amount that I'm going to spend every night or whatever.
Right.
Once I get to my drunk limit, like whatever I have left, it's getting spent on food.
Yeah.
Like it's getting spent on food, and like it's not just food for me. Like I'll buy food for everyone. Like whoever's there.
Well, I gotta start hanging out with you.
Yeah. I went to Lalo's one time, got wasted, bought Whataburger for the entire bar. There's like 30 people in there.
I love me some
we
Whataburger.
got Postmates. Postmates or favor.
Mm-hmm.
Got Whataburger favored to Lalo for like the entire bar. It was horrible. I spent $400 on Whataburger that night.
That's hilarious.
That's good drunk food right there.
Yeah. Whataburger's awesome, man. Drunk or not.
Yeah?
I hit Whataburger a couple nights a week. Son's got practice late.
I can't anymore.
Well, yeah.
Not anymore, but...
Well, I'm on crutches, so I've given myself permission to be as fat as I want to be. No diet for me. Because, I can't do anything. I can do some stuff, but not enough to keep my weight down. So I'm like, fuck it. I don't care. So I've given myself permission to eat whatever I want, as much as I want, drink whatever I want. And once I get off these damn sticks and can get to doing some cardio again, then I'll worry about it then.
Is there anything in training that you don't look forward to? Like waking up early in the morning or, because I'm not a morning person. Like if I have to go work out.
I honestly don't mind. And it's just the diet.
The diet, pretty much.
Well, my workouts aren't. They suck, man. So they're like it's not fun. And I used to enjoy working out. Like now, no, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But it's because, especially in fight camp, like what people don't understand, the way I train is I'm forcing myself to break physically or mentally every day. Literally every day. Even my off days, not so much. So the weekends, I get a mental break. But during like 5 days a week, I'm training myself to break physically or mentally. So, and that's what I have to do. Like that type of punishment and that type of grind, it gets me in the mentality that I need to be in to fight. So that's why, I shut down. My friends will tell you, like, when I'm getting ready for a fight, I'm not pleasant to be around,
right,
by any stretch of the imagination. So it's it's gotten me great results. My fights, all in really quickly. So
and look, at the end of the day, what you're doing is, it requires a certain amount of mental strength just to get in there, right? It's not even to perform well, just to. People think it's all glitz and glamour, but at the end of the day, you're getting in a cage in your underwear to fight some other dude. That's kind of crazy for those of us that live regular 9-to-5 lives, like my brother and I. That's, if you really sit and think about it, it's kind of foreign, and you do have to push that mental. You have to push that mental limit in order to be able to not just do that, but then to perform at a high level like what you're trying to do. It's just not easy.
Right.
It's a grind, but look, that's the name of the game that you've chosen, right? Training partners. I can't imagine that we have a whole lot. Houston's a big city, I understand, but we don't have a whole lot of 6'5", 280-pound dudes rolling around town that are willing to fight and roll, as they say in your game.
Very few.
What do you do for training partners? Fly them
usually,
in, go get them?
So there's a couple of heavyweights around. Sometimes I'll drive to them. A lot of people really want to say they want to train with me now. So how that usually happens, they come for like 2 or 3 sessions and they don't want to do it anymore. So
that's 2 or 3 more than you would like.
Yeah, capitalize when those guys come. But for me, it's all about control. Like I gotta control my body in sparring and stuff like that. So I don't spar very hard. When I go to Denver or to a new gym, sometimes guys will want to test me and they'll spar hard. That's the extent of hard sparring that I get in. So it's all about control for me. So I work a lot of speed stuff, reaction and just controlling and technique. It's real technical sparring. So when I'm sparring, like people will tell you I still hit hard. I don't ever go more than 30 or 40% when I'm sparring.
Wow.
If somebody is getting really wild, luckily I'm good enough to not get hit very much. Even if they're going as hard as they can, I can usually avoid it. If they're doing stuff that's too much for my comfort level, I'll let them know the first time, and if they want to keep that up, I'll take them down. And I tell like my wrestling is really good, so I can take you down in a way that's not gonna hurt you, or I can take you down in a way that's gonna make you reconsider ever stepping in the cage again. So the choice is yours, and that's how I do it. So normally I'll just take them down a little rough. They keep doing it, take them down a little rougher, and by the end of it, I've never, like, the worst thing I've ever done is just power doubled someone into the fence and just kind of sat, and every time they were getting up, just slammed them again. Like,
jeez.
So,
speaking of which, did you see the fight this weekend where that one guy knocked himself out?
yeah, that was actually against Jose Shorty Torres.
Yeah.
He's managed by the same guy as I am.
Really?
Yeah,
Look at that small world. I did not know that.
He got the win. So
yeah, that was a pretty good fight.
yeah.
What did you think of the fights this weekend? You want to break those down a little bit for us? What did you get to watch them?
When were they?
Friday night.
Friday night. What was I doing Friday night? I don't think I watched.
Yeah, who cares?
I'm watching the fights Friday night.
Are you? I mean, I know you're a sports fan. We've talked about stuff like that, but are you a fight fan? Like, do you enjoy watching fights?
I like watching fights with other people that know fights. I can't watch fights with
Idiots like us.
No, y'all are around the game though. I'm talking about like your casual fight fan that's just, why isn't he knocking him out? Like, there's a reason people get paid bonuses for that, dude. Like, it's not easy to do.
Yeah.
You know?
My favorite is, don't ever let it go to the judges.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think these guys, they're not getting paid by the hour.
Yeah.
They want to get out of there as quick as possible. None of them want to let it go to the judges.
Yeah. Right.
But I mean, when you get two guys that are really good, they're really good.
Yeah.
It's technical shit, man. It doesn't happen just, on a whim,
Right.
Yeah, I watch a lot of UFC, and sometimes I go with my buddies who watch a lot of UFC as well, and they know what's going on. And sometimes we'll go to someone's house, and inevitably there's people there that are just hanging out that don't know anything, and it's annoying as fuck to hear someone say, "Well, especially if it's, it's worse if it's a guy, right?
Right.
If it's a woman and she says something like that, you're like, well, okay, she probably doesn't watch it. But if it's a guy and he's fronting like he watches it, and he's telling you, I don't know why he doesn't just hit him with a right.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's not that easy.
My favorite are the guys that have taken like one class and one discipline or something. Like, oh yeah, I did a jiu-jitsu class once, or I took cardio kickboxing for a little bit, and like, that doesn't mean you're qualified. Oh man, and it's worse from fans. Like when they try and tell me how I should be training, I'm just like,
I was gonna talk to you about that. Off camera, but I'll give you some pointers later.
It is the worst. I've had guys hit me up, and normally what I do is I'll just roast all of them in my stories. I'll just go on there and I'll be like, so this guy told me I should probably get a new striking coach. I'm like, that's crazy considering like I'm already a higher level athlete than he could ever aspire to be, and everything I've played at a higher level than this guy, so I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to sports, so, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. I mean, guys that even, guys that play sports or are taking classes or in these other sports, is like, what they don't understand is like everything I've done at the top of the level. Like I wrestled Division I.
Right.
The only way you go better than that is the Olympics or
trying
to wrestle internationally. Like I've wrestled at that level. I had an NFL tryout. That's top of the top for that. And now I'm a pro fighter, and in less than a year, I've made it. I'm ranked worldwide on the prospect in the U.S. in less than a year of pro fighting. I'm top 5 in the country. So I know it's like we know what we're doing. Clearly, what I'm doing is working. And it'd be one thing if when people try and give me pointers or like critique me, my new go-to is like, oh yeah, well, which fight did you think I was losing? And tell me that. And like, can you tell me what round you think? Oh, I've never lost a round of a fight either. So you don't go to the one where I was getting pieced up and like, I was thinking the same thing. Which fight was it? And like, tell me exactly the moment that you knew that I needed help in a certain area. And then at that point, they know I'm fucking with them, so they'll just stop. They'll just shut down. But so that's how I've overcome that.
It's amazing. It's amazing how just how brazen we've become as a society. I blame it on social media because you can sit behind a keyboard and say whatever the hell you want that you would never say to someone face to face. But sometimes people can't control them. They're so used to doing it on Facebook and Twitter that then they even do it face to face, which is even more ridiculous. But it is what it is, right?
And yeah, I've had a few theories about this, but what it boils down to is, we live in the age of information, right? So, and there's a difference between knowledge, intellect, and another difference between intellect, knowledge, and wisdom, right? So,
absolutely,
knowledge, you have access to facts, right? You have access to data. You can do with it whatever you want. You can regurgitate it. You can form your own opinion, and it'll be somewhat educated based on just the sheer amount of information that's out there.
Right.
Wisdom is kind of intellect is the application of that knowledge,
right.
And the the practical application of that knowledge. And then wisdom is just knowing how to discern between the facts to derive the truth, because the truth is kind of, or the reality or the essence of something. You kind of have to look at all the facts, apply it to the situation, and then discern from there the best course of action. And that's where a lot of people just stop at the knowledge part.
They saw that YouTube video. They know how to strike.
So, I mean, I just, you take it with a grain of salt. Like, at this point, I need fans. So I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, whatever. And just look at them. But now I'm at a point now, or I'm getting to a point quickly where, I don't need to sell tickets anymore because I'm already getting paid.
Because I'm getting paid and I'm whooping ass. So
whatever,
Yeah, man, that's interesting. You mentioned your stories on Instagram. Do you not own any shirts? Like, are you out of shirts? Because I've never seen an Instagram story with you with a damn shirt on.
Sex sells, baby. I'm giving that's something for my female viewers. I actually have the gay population loves me. All right. So
hey, everybody's got needs.
I'm making people happy, man. I'm spreading happiness.
Thank goodness for Jet Hotter. You might have done this podcast with no shirt on.
I probably would. I'm actually feeling a little chunky today. I probably would have worn a shirt, or at least a muscle shirt.
You enjoy doing those Instagram stories, don't you?
I do sometimes. I just go on there to vent. It is what it is. A lot of times I'll do stuff like someone's behavior has pissed me off that day, so I'll do a rant about it. But I mean, I'm a pretty creative dude, and I can make pretty much anything. I mean, I'll joke about anything. I was joking with people today about racism on Twitter, and they're like, "Well, you shouldn't hang out with these types of people." I'm like, "Hey, if I die, I die. Fuck it." It's life. Nobody makes it out alive, right?
That's right. That's right. Taking a step way back, right? But you brought up the racism thing. What the hell are you?
It's funny. I don't really know 100%. I know for a fact that I'm mostly black and Mexican, but on both those sides. So the Mexican part is they were in that part of Mexico that's very Native American with the indigenous peoples over there. So and my grandpa was real big on it. I never paid that much attention to it. And my grandma swears there's Native American over there. I don't know. I just I go black and Mexican with a little bit of Native American thrown in there. I'll probably get one of those spit tests done eventually.
Yeah, what's it called? 23andMe. 23andMe. There you go. One day, spit into a cup and send it off somewhere for them to tell you what you are.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you're a true melting pot.
Yeah,
right?
I'm all kind of messed up, man. It is what it is. The black part is like from Louisiana, so it's a Creole. I don't know what the hell is in there. It's just whatever. You know, my family, there's all different skin tones, variations. I'm actually like super tan right now, so I'm loving it. Most people are like, oh, that guy's black. I don't have to explain it. But, you know, you find me in the winter, people are like,
Where are you?
where are you from? You know, are you Brazilian? Maybe.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. It'd be really funny if you knew some Portuguese and you just spout it out and be like, whoa.
We had a Portuguese guy come train the gym, but he only taught me like 3 words, and they're all really bad. So
right.
Of
course.
I was like,
but of course.
Right.
Like, our parents are from Argentina, so we speak Spanish at home, and I never taught my friends anything but the bad words in Spanish, right? I mean, that's what you do.
Yeah.
That's what you do, man.
In Spanish, I know how to pretty much ask for a blowjob. That's about it. That's about all I know in Spanish.
That can be useful. Provided she says yes. God damn, that caught me off guard. I don't even know how to say that in Spanish. Now that I think about it.
I say like, ¿Quieres la verga? Sí, no.
We just boosted our Spanish
audience.
That's it.
Have you ever been to Mexico?
Once in like 5th grade, we went to Big Bend and like we swam across the Rio Grande and just went over there. And
Did you swim back?
Yeah, we obviously came back. You know, I just wanted to touch the wall, touch the side of a cliff, and ran back over. And they peed my initials over there. You know, that's my Mexican adventure.
Yeah, better than nothing, man.
Yeah.
That's better than me. I think the only time I've been to Mexico was I was on a job and I worked, and we flew like right across the border in Del Rio, and did whatever we had to do at some warehouse, just counting some shit, and then came right back. But I mean, it was awful. We went to eat, and I'm thinking, all right, cool, Mexican food. I like Mexican food. It's terrible. Amazingly, didn't get sick, but that's because I have a cast iron stomach. But it was not good at all. What do you do for fun, man, outside of fight? You can't even think about fun now with this fight camp.
Yeah, man, I really can't.
I don't blame you.
At one point, when I'm not in fight camp, I don't even play video games much anymore. I mean, I used to like talk to people online. Like, this is fun. I have to stop doing that. Meet some weirdos out there. I go to movie theaters. Like, this is gonna sound bad, but I like to go to movies by myself, and like I only go to movie theaters where there's a bar, and like I have this whole routine. Like I get right to that point where like I'm a little messed up, and like I go and I sit in the movie, and like I don't like being around like random people, so I'll go at weird times throughout the day, and I'll just sit there like drunk until. Because the first part of the movies are always so slow and boring, and like, so I'm just sitting there like making fun of the movie, and then like halfway through where it gets good, like I sober up, and then I'll
enjoy the rest of the movie.
I'll go and I'll have another drink ready, like keep the buzz going a little bit, and then I start coming down like 3/4 of the way through, and I'm good to drive by the time the movie's over, and so that's.
See, you watch some cartoon movie out there, John.
That's my process. It's even more fun if people are in there, because I've got my own commentary going on naturally, and if they try to say something like, shut up, I'll just scream it over and just keep going about my business. That's one thing. I'll just drive for fun. I just drive around, look at stuff, I'll go for a walk or something. That's about it.
Easy going cat.
Yeah. I shoot hoops too. If I don't have a fight coming up, I also do play pickup basketball. Now we're so close, I don't want to risk it. So
yeah.
I'll shoot around, and once people show up, I leave. But
yeah, I don't blame you. We typically do a piece here on the show at the end. We do shout outs. We like to shout out to someone that did something good in the last week. Knucklehead over here sometimes remembers to do one, sometimes doesn't. Obviously, you can shout out all of your training partners and gyms and all the people you're affiliated with, and we'll blast all that stuff out as well. But you got a shout out today?
Man, I'm just gonna shout out my daughter. She graduated from high school last week, so shout outs to her. She's moving on to big things, and real excited for her and her future.
Damn, you stole my shout out.
Sorry,
Juan,
bro.
you got one off the top of your head? Someone you want to shout out to? Someone who's done something good this week that you want to acknowledge?
I am my strength and conditioning coach, Ryan Casey Baker, puts up with me every day. So
With no sugar and no liquor?
Yeah, no sugar, no liquor, no women. It's a hard task. It's a strong man right there. So
That's rough. That's rough. My shout out is going to go to LeBron James. Not for scoring 51, but for not killing J.R. Smith. Oh, man. Hey, thank you so much for coming on the show and chatting with us today. I'll give you a minute, 2 minutes, however much time you want. You're the biggest guy in the room. Shout out to all your people, your sponsors. Let everyone know how to get a hold of you, all that neat stuff, man.
awesome. All right. So first and foremost, want to shout out my sponsors, Jet Hot Premium Coatings and High Performance. They just signed up for another year. So blessed, very grateful for you guys. Fleming Attorneys. You can find them, FlemingAttorneys.com. They're Houston's premier personal injury attorneys. Also, my gyms, Paradigm Training Center, of course, and the Fight Lab. It's over right here in Katy. And my strength and conditioning coach, he's also a personal trainer, Ryan Casey Baker. You can contact him at thecheatmeal.com. Also at the_cheat_meal on Instagram. For me on social media, you can find me on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter at chosenjuan285. It's not for the faint of heart. If you're easily offended or don't like dudes not wearing shirts, don't follow me. My Facebook fan page is Juan the Kracken Adams. So it's Juan and then in quotations the Kracken and Adams. Pretty easy name. So thank you.
Awesome. If you want to get a hold of the show and share your thoughts with us on Juan the Kracken Adams or anything else, feel free to do so. Our email address, positivesports10@gmail.com. positivesports10@gmail.com. If they want to get a hold of you, my brother, how do they do that?
Like always, don't be a leader, be a follower. Catch me on Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho.
And for me, if you want to get a hold of me on Twitter at eMontana21. Most importantly, folks, July 31st, in the merry month of July, sign up for UFC Fight Pass. And on July 31st, you make sure you watch Juan the Kracken Adams against Sean Teed on Dana White's Tuesday night Contender Series. Watch this man kick some ass, because that's what's going to happen. It's just that simple. He will absolutely win. You heard it here first. I'm telling you, I'm making my one and only fight pick. This man, July 31st, UFC Fight Pass, Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. Watch it, subscribe, and enjoy. And as always, folks, ignore the negativity. Be the positivity.
Peace.